Welcome, everyone. I'm Dennis Edgell from the University of North Carolina at Pembroke. I wanted to share with you today at our educational session at the Applied Geography Conference 2021 a special presentation of an assignment that I created for my online students. It's called My Geography Photo Contest. This is the takeaway for my presentation. Students can be inspired to learn geography by sharing their own photographs. Some background for this. Every once in a while, there are times I'm not able to meet with my regularly scheduled class, either conference travel, such as the Applied Geography Conference, or other planned absences that I have. Well, students and administrators don't like it when I'm not able to hold a regular class. Students and administrators demand quality classroom experiences, and they don't want to see a class meeting simply being canceled. So I have several ideas of what to do to cover those classes because I want to give my students a worthwhile activity. One of the most successful assignments that I made was the geography photo contest, where students were given a class period off to work on an assignment and then later post their photographs to a Canvas discussion board. Students were also to make comments and put likes on each other's photos. The reasoning for this is that well, students love their cell phones. They love posting photos and making comments on social media. So I got to wondering, could students learn to appreciate geography more so if they posted their photos and comments online? Now, my actual directions have evolved over time since I first assigned this, but the basic directions are students are to take a photograph of anything that they think demonstrates a geographic concept. And it has to be an original photograph, not something clipped from Bing images or something like that. It could be anything in geography. It could be anything in physical or human geography. Part of the directions were for students to explain how their photograph was geographic. How is it geography? So they were supposed to write a caption, 100 to 200 words to explain the photograph. I told them, well, look at some of the figures and photos in your textbook, and how does the author explain the photos or figures there? What is it that we're supposed to see as the reader, as the audience? Later, I told them it would be a nice touch if you could put a small inset map of the photograph's location using something like Google Maps or so forth. Also, you want to have a catchy title to draw in the audience. And then I told them, well, why don't you try to put all of that on a single PowerPoint slide? Okay, and so I did make a few other changes as this evolved over time. Students started to ask me, well, can I use a photograph I already took? And I okayed that. And I told them, well, as long as you can explain the geography in your photo, go ahead. Especially when personal travel was restricted due to the pandemic. Many of them shared a photo of a trip they made pre-pandemic. And also I had some other advice for them as well. Well, let's see, what's geographic? Well, it seemed like many students took landscape photographs. And that seems reasonable. And I received many good landscape photos. Often the subject matter in the photo was something from their local area and one of their local experiences. For example, here, this is a good example. This photo turned out pretty well, and he did it the day of the assignment. Some captured the geography that they saw from the window of an airplane, or perhaps helicopter. And some students even use drones to get the bird's eye view, the spatial view of the things that they wanted to photograph, or an otherwise inaccessible place that they wanted to take a picture of. Well, I was glad to see that there were not too many selfie type pictures and not too many pictures of the pets. So that was good. The students were concentrating on the geography and less so themselves. And although children were sometimes a feature of some images. And here she's has a picture of herself at the Gettysburg battlefield. Not really a selfie because you can see the landscape in that. The subject matter the student took a photo of, I think, reflects their understanding of geography and their perception of what geography encompasses. For example, economic geography and business geography is part of their world. There were a lot of environmental and weather themes of students taking pictures of the sky or overhead views from airplanes in particular environments. Clouds once again. Mountains were also a typical subject. There were a lot of photographs of some type of hydrographic feature, either a stream, major river, ocean, lake. A good number of the photographs were of a water body. In this case, cenote in Mexico. Raven Rock. I received pictures of the rapids at Raven Rock. It was common. A lot of water. A lot of water. Many students shared photographs of an important trip they took or otherwise an important life event. And there's geography in the background of both of those. For example, this one, the Man de la Mancha windmills in Spain. Okay, part of the famous Don Quixote stories. So it's a nice photograph. I was happy to see that one. Also, students, because they wanted to do a good job, they described concepts from their textbook. And for example, looking in physical geography and weathering and erosion and deposition along the coast. Or more geology and landforms, the Shenandoah Valley, Great Smoky Mountains, and their geology. Um, Very often, students had a nice photograph as part of their document, but often their slides had way too much text which meant that the photo had to be a lot smaller or put in a corner somehow, especially if they had the inset map in there. And sometimes I think that the title was taking up too much space on the slide. I think the reason why students put so much text on these is because I told them they were supposed to describe the geography, and they wanted to make sure that they had the right answer, and they wanted to make sure that they used a concept. But I think some of the best ones that were turned in were the ones that were fairly simplified. Now, although I designed this assignment to cover missed class and face-to-face regular lecture classes, I found that the assignment works especially best in my online courses, online asynchronous courses. It works well. And also, students that are in summer sections, 5-week sections, and we also have 8-week semester sessions. Usually those students are online students only, and they're very motivated to do the coursework. And many of them were especially enthusiastic about doing this type of discussion board. And I think that might be true of discussion boards in general. Online students are more serious. They're used to working independently, posting online, and communicating with others online. So now the geography photo contest is part of all of my online general education geography courses. If you'd like to see all of the photographs, because I didn't have enough time or space to show you all of them, I do have links to my teaching website, and you can take a look at all of my students' photos there. I also have some links to my teaching blog here. I'd be happy to share those with you. All right, well, thanks for listening, everyone.